Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Marisa Guthrie, who is a business coach and a mentor to small and micro enterprises. So, Marisa, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Hi, Tom. Really nice to meet you. Thanks so much for inviting me. It's great
Uh,
to be.
I appreciate you being here. And whereabouts are you in the world right now?
So I am in the south of the UK,
Mhm.
a little way from Brighton by the sea. So yeah, we're in lovely sunny Sussex today.
Fantastic. And I just want to share a little bit more about Marissa before we get started. So, Marissa is a serial entrepreneur and has set up several businesses and not for profits, including a think tank and a women's business network. Marissa believes that businesses should be a force for good in our world and is using her skills to put money in the hands of the right people. The title for today's episode is How to Create Your Authentic Business, and Marissa's going to show us how to do that in just 7 minutes. So, question one today is, who are your ideal clients?
Well, my ideal clients are small and micro business owners who kind of see the world in the same way that I do. What matters to them matters to me, and they're using their businesses to make a difference. They're often people that might not identify with the word entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and they want to define success on their terms, not to conform to the version that society has handed down to them. So sometimes a little bit rebellious, perhaps don't always feel a part of that business world. So yeah, I'm using my skills to help them.
Excellent, perfect. So, when we think of these rebellious small business owners, what's typically the biggest challenge that they face?
Well, the biggest challenge, apart from budget, which is something that
Mhm.
we're all grappling with, but one of their biggest challenges is having the courage to step into being their authentic selves, because they feel that business should be done in a certain way. So we put "should" in inverted commas, and that's often at odds with who they are as individuals and how they feel about themselves and their business. So particularly when it comes down to the marketing, it means that it comes from a place where it doesn't really land effectively, and often they feel very thwarted in their attempts to market themselves. So I'll often hear them saying, I don't know what to say about myself. I don't know how to market myself. I'm passionate about what I do, but I don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah, so I guess there's a lack of clarity there.
Yeah.
And and what impact would you say this, lack of clarity or visibility is having on their businesses?
Yeah, well, the biggest impact is that they often get disillusioned with the business world because they're trying to conform to something that doesn't fit with them.
Hmm.
They can see all the big brands and the influencers, and what they try to do is emulate them.
Yeah.
They try and fit who they are to be like, the big players that we
Yeah.
see. So then that can often lead to cynicism and, frankly, despair.
Hmm.
And often what I've seen is that it can actually result in some people closing their businesses simply because they feel they can't compete in that world. And if they do stick with it, they may often find themselves getting to a point of burnout, which is
Yeah.
often the point at which they contact me.
Hmm.
So they're just feeling exhausted and they have to take time out just to survive. So that's really the biggest impact that it has on their business.
Of course. So let's say someone's listening to this episode right now and they're starting to resonate with these messages that you're putting out there. What's the one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody to really help them get started on this journey or path?
Yeah. Well, I was really thinking about this question, and
Mhm.
not to be too lofty, but I'd like to borrow the words of William Shakespeare, who
Yeah,
said, "To thine own self be true." So your business is quickly going to become unsustainable if you're trying to fit someone else's model of how to do things, or you're going to try and emulate, their way of doing
of
things.
course.
So the first thing to say really is, be confident in who you are and your business story. I work with story a lot in my work, and really figuring out why people do what they do. It's not just about money. Money is an outcome, but why are
Mhm.
you really here to do this? What's really, driving this? And above all, be authentic. Have the courage to be yourself. I recently saw a quote talking about authenticity, that it's really a connection to self. So when you can really, be authentic and have the courage to be yourself, that will have huge benefits for your business. And also only surround yourself with people that truly get you.
Yeah.
that really understand you and that will raise you up. It's not only better for you, but it's better for your business and ultimately better for your clients and customers.
Love that. Yeah, really powerful message behind that. Yeah, really appreciate you sharing that with us. So, thinking of that then, what is one valuable resource that you might share with people to help them get started?
Well, I've created a free course, Tom, called
Hmm.
Creating Your Authentic Business in 6 Easy Steps, which you can access from my website, marisaguthrie.coaching.co.uk. And it's got everything that you need to know about how to create an authentic business, one that not only fulfills you and resonates with who you are, but will ultimately attract more clients and customers that share the same values as you do. So you can increase your income and your impact in the world and find fulfillment through running a business that you love, but also that it's a much more relaxing place to be when you're running your business from a place of authenticity, right, rather than trying to turn up constantly and try and be someone else. It's totally possible and achievable. It just takes a little bit of thought first.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's marisaguthrie.coaching.co.uk. I'll put that link into the show notes below, and people can just click that and dive in and get access to that free course.
Fantastic.
So, on to the subject of you again for just a minute. So, obviously, serial entrepreneur, you set up and run lots of businesses. I'm sure you've made a few mistakes or had a few failures along the way. So, one question I have is what would you say is one of your greatest mistakes or failures you've made in life or business, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, well, just for your sake and the listeners' sake, I've made some absolute humdingers, so
Yeah.
so I can answer this really well. And to be honest, again, I was really thinking about this question, and the only failure that I really believe in is not learning the lesson when things
Yes.
go wrong. So if we're prepared to learn the lesson and understand that ultimately everything is a gift if we choose to see it that way, there is no such thing as failure. There is only the opportunity to learn something about ourselves. So, gosh, every single thing that I've been through in life, as well as business, has had a lesson to teach me. And when I didn't learn it the first time, it showed up again and again until I learned it good. So I use all of that in my coaching work. And, I believe that it makes me be a better coach. So it's all about just learning the lesson. What has this
Absolutely.
failure got to teach us?
Yeah, perfect. Love that. Thank you so much. And the last question for me today is, what is the one question that I should have asked you that will also give some great value to our audience today?
And again, this is such a fabulous question. So Tom, what you should have asked me is what business owners and entrepreneurs need in order to achieve success or any
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah, and what is
And I
that?
would have told you it takes two things. It
Yeah.
takes two things. So number one is the right strategy.
Hmm.
Number two is the right mindset.
Yeah.
So if you've got the right strategy, you're going to know what steps to take to achieve your goals. But if you don't have the mindset to match that, what's going to happen is you're going to keep coming up against emotional barriers, the same things, and you won't know how to overcome them. And so, what can happen is that you risk sabotaging yourself. So, conversely, if it's all about mindset, but you've got no strategy, then you won't be able to take action. So, you really need the combination of those kind of emotional tools and those practical tools. And to be honest, it really is that simple. So, it's the right strategy and the right mindset.
Absolutely. Great note to end on. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your time again, and obviously for sharing your expertise with our audience.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Tom. And I look forward to chatting again in the future.